Hey Hofstra fans, welcome inside the W. Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Tom Brady, now joined by the head coach of the Hofstra men's lacrosse team, Seth Tierney. Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Thanks, Tom.
Coach, this past weekend your team dropped a tough one, 6-5, in Drexel down in Philadelphia. Tell me about the game.
Yeah, I mean it was a tale of a quarter and three quarters. I thought we got out to a pretty good start. Obviously, with got out to a lead, and we were certainly doing what we wanted to do on offense, getting some decent looks, clearing the ball well, facing off well. Everything was kind of rolling along, and it's happened before down there. I can't put my finger on it. The excuses are built in, but I'm leaving them in a closet because they're not excuses anymore. But it's happened time and time again down there where it's a tale of two halves. Whether we come back and take it, or they come back, which happens down there, more than we come back. And they got us in the second half, and it was a perfect storm with facing off, doing such a good job in the first half, to the exact opposite in the second half. Getting some looks, not finishing, stopping some runs. They scored 6 goals. 1 was 6-on-6. 2 were off the face-off. 3 were in transition, and we didn't manage the game well. They didn't do anything to us that we weren't prepared for. We just didn't execute what we were prepared for, and I don't know, why that was. I'm going to get the guys' opinions today as well, and the best thing that we can do right now, which is a little difficult to say, is we got to cut it loose, and we got to get back at it because we got a monster game coming in on Saturday as another CAA opponent.
Tell me about the first half. You led 4-0 after the first quarter, 4-1 going into the half. What was going right on both sides of the ball for you early on?
Yeah, early on, I mean, John was pushing the ball out. He was getting it to where we needed to get to. We were controlling the tempo of the game. Adrian gets the first one right-handed. Their game plan, obviously, to take away his left. They were at our St. John's game. They're not recreating the wheel there. But that was a good job. And they two-poled. So they took Serling and Soroketti with poles, and they left Malave and our crease attackman, whether it be Mike DiNapoli or Torrin Vaughn, with a short stick. So we have offenses for when that happens. A lot of if this, then that. And, we just needed to make some plays, and it just didn't happen. There were times in the second quarter where we probably could have extended it to maybe a 4 or a 5 goal game and going into halftime, and instead it was just a 3-goal game. And they get one at the end because we don't kill the rest of the half, and we needed to do that because obviously a 1-goal game, everything goes underneath a microscope. So we come out, and they were 3-5. I got a chance to speak to the Drexel coach yesterday. He's a good friend of mine, and their backs were against the wall more than our backs were against the wall. We were coming off 2 wins with a young team, and they were 3-5, and they played like they were in a corner, and we didn't play a second half like we were in a corner, and it came back and haunted us a little bit.
Now you mentioned not getting quite the looks you wanted in the second half. You had 2 stretches of about 20 minutes each where you didn't have a goal from the second to the third quarter, and then after you scored in the third. What were they doing to frustrate your team on offense?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't change anything defensively. I mean, after watching the film, it's not like they said they were going to do this and we didn't have an answer for it. They just knocked our rhythm out of whack. And we probably knocked our own rhythm out of whack at times when guys started to grip their sticks a little bit. Every possession started to become, this is the possession, and now we're starting to grip our sticks. And the only thing that can make that go away is when 1, 2 guys step up and make a great play, and then everyone can exhale. At times with the young team, it's not a timeout. It's not what you can say to them. It's something that a peer has to do out there. It's to say, oh, Adrian's here. He just got one for us. Oh, Lance is here. He got one. Searle's got one for us. And that didn't happen. Not for a lack of trying. It just didn't happen. And then at the end, we had a great look at the end. And Mike DiNapoli, Mark Manos, that was one of the disguises of Drexel. Is their record was 3-5. And Mark Manos, was booked to be one of the better goalies in the CAA. And he came out and he had a tough couple of games. But we know that he's capable. I mean, we certainly know what Mark Manos is capable of. And they got a senior late in defense, and they played well. So
now go for your team, Andrew Gavasin, 10 saves, 8 of them though in the second half, really trying to keep your team still in the game. What do you think of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably the shining star of that game, and we're certainly awfully proud of him because I thought he made a couple of combo saves where he made a save, there was a rebound or a loose ball, and he made another save, and I thought maybe Andrew would be that guy that would say, oh, Andrew's here, and we're going to be okay, and it just never carried over the midline. Then we turned the ball over a little bit in the clearing game, and again, a couple of freshmen, but it's the 8th game of the season. So again, we don't have freshmen anymore. Class rank is out the window, and a couple of freshmen just started to grip their sticks a little bit. And credit to Drexel. It hurts me to say it, but credit to Drexel.
They had 5 different goal scorers on the game. 4 of those goals were unassisted, and it seems like it's been a bit of a trend at 38 of 70 goals on the season unassisted. What's the key to getting some more easy dunks and some better looks like that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know the answer. A lot of the assisted goals sometimes come from man up, and we haven't been great there. Last couple of games have been okay, and then we were 0 for 2 against Drexel. One time, the weather bug got us a little bit as soon as they throw a flag. I think it might have hit a cloud. They threw it so high, and then the skies opened up, and we just didn't get the great look, or we missed a goal. So you get a lot of assisted goals with that. We didn't get any transition goals. You usually get a lot of assisted goals in that transition type situation. 38 out of 70. I haven't paid attention too much to that stat. That's half, and I don't know what's normal. If they're not going to slide to our guys, then you got to beat someone to the goal. You get open looks, a little freeze dodge. And that wipes away a great pass by someone. That's the way the stats roll. So I just, 3 goals away from winning 3, 1-goal games. But it takes more than that. It takes a lot of plays to get 1 goal. And so it's not just 1 play. I think people make that mistake of, if we only hit that 1 goal. It takes a lot of goals, a lot of plays to make up 1 goal.
Now, flash forward towards this weekend. You got a game against the Towson team. A good start for them on the season, 5-3. 2 of their losses to Johns Hopkins and Loyola, 2 of the undefeateds. And of course, opening CAA play with maybe, I guess, a surprising win over Delaware, at least surprising based on what they did last season. What have you seen from a new-look Towson team this year with a new head coach?
Yeah, I mean, I got a chance to coach Sean Nadelin when I was at Hopkins, and I know what Sean's about. He is as blue-collar as they get. And he's trying to restore what Towson was years ago, and if there's a guy that can do it, he could do it. And so I know that they're going to be vanilla, but they're meat and potatoes, and that's what they are. And we got to come out. I'm certainly happy it's at Schuett Stadium. We've got a little bit of angriness to us, and we'll have that throughout the week. And if we don't have it, I'm going to make sure it's there. And we got a tough one. We got to make sure that we get this one, and we got to make sure that we get back to the winning ways that led to 2 previous games, and go in that direction.
Towson's been outshot by about 9 shots per game on the season. So how big are your possessions going to be in turning those shots into some goals there?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a bunch of games where we haven't shot the amount of times that we'd like to, but it's more about being effective. I don't know how many shots we had in the St. John's game, but we had shot a pretty good percentage there, and Adrian was on, and everyone else was on with just on-goal percentage. So we have to make sure, again, that they're great looks. West Cabbage is a very good goalie. They got a couple of defensemen that are really good. They're facing off pretty well, and they got some young guys on offense that, they got a lot of energy. And a couple of those guys are from Long Island. Hodgson and DiNapoli are both from Long Island. They play pivotal roles for them on the offensive end. So we'll have a good game plan today. As always, Monday is about Hofstra. We're going to go out. We're going to scrimmage a little bit against each other. We're going to mix up the lineups a little bit today, and we're going to see if there's someone that we're missing that we need to plug in to try to stay focused. Then we're going to go downstairs and watch a little film on the Drexel game, and then tomorrow we'll start talking about Towson.
And finally, Coach, some keys that you want to see out of your team in order to get a win at Schuett Stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, I would like to see poise when times get tough. Everybody's the leader. Everybody's got their chest out when the times are going well. I can be a leader. Everybody wants to fight for the front of the line when things are going well. When times get tough, we need some guys that have a calming influence on our team out on the field, and just one play at a time, just one ground ball at a time. And some of those guys, like we said, I don't want to say it, but they're early in their college career, and we need some of those older guys to step up. So one day at a time.
All right, Seth Tierney, head coach of the Hofstra men's lacrosse team. Thanks for joining us inside the W. Mason Coach Report on GoHofstra.com.
Thanks, Al.